Welcome, everybody, to the That Kind of Nerd podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Wanted to take a quick second before we jump into things and just remind you guys that, again, there's always a way for you to connect with this show. And the coolest way that I know of is to actually have your voice on the show with us. Because, yes, that is possible. You don't have to listen to just the three of us. So, real quick, stop whatever you're doing. If you're at a red light, fantastic. Perfect time to go ahead and save a phone number into your phone. It's 484-373-4119. That, guys, is the phone number that you can call, leave us a voicemail, and get your voice on the show. We had a listener question last week. Perfect time for this week's topics to go ahead and chime in because we are going to talk about the Oscars.
Before we get started, I had a listener interaction of my own on Facebook here. I get a message from our faithful listener Ellen. Quotes me saying, "If you haven't seen Star Wars, shut off the podcast and don't ever listen again because I don't like you." And she says, "That hurts, buddy. That hurts." Frowny face. Aww. And I said, "I don't understand how you haven't seen this yet. You don't really need any knowledge of the previous six." And she goes into, she doesn't like sci-fi. She didn't like the original trilogy. She's just not interested. And it doesn't make her a bad person pout. And I said, "Do you not enjoy Hope?" And she said, "Hope is good. Positive, upbeat emotion. But you haven't seen Pitch Perfect 2. Do you not enjoy laughter?" And we went back and forth for a little bit. At which point, she asked, "Can we call a truce?" And she said, "No more hate on non-Star Wars fans, ? And I said this: "I will state an exception anytime I need to hate on non-Star Wars fans." Quote, "And from now on, this is what you can expect to hear from me. If you haven't seen the movie, turn off the podcast. Except Ellen. We love Ellen."
I will wholeheartedly agree with that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So there's your listener interaction for the week.
That tis agreed.
Also, before we get started, I do need to feel the need that I have to correct CJ from something that happened last week.
Maybe just a correction.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if you have to target it right at me, but whatever. Go ahead. Do what makes you feel better.
So, no. It's a targeted correction because I knew what was wrong while it was happening, and I was like, I don't have the facts and figures in front of me yet. But I got the facts and figures in front of me. So we were talking about last year's movies, and American Sniper was the first one, and CJ was hoping that Bradley Cooper did not get snuffed or snubbed at this year's Oscars. And I had to look it up, and it was actually part of last year's Oscars because it had a limited release in December, just like movies like The Revenant are doing.
Sneaky
I'm
Revenant.
taken down on a technicality.
Sneaky bastards. So
to which he did not win, and
CJ's,
I'm very upset, but he got the nomination.
To CJ's worry, Bradley Cooper did get nominated. So he did not get snuffed, but he did get snubbed because he did not win.
Very true.
It got a bunch of nominations for motion picture, lead actor, screenplay, but it only won for sound editing.
If I recall, Taken 3 won all the awards at that year.
Oh, of course.
I thought it was really interesting that Liam Neeson won Best Actress, but I think it was a bold choice on the Academy side.
He has a very particular set of skills.
It's very true. All right.
So now that we've gotten the corrections and the interactions out of the way, CJ, let's talk about this year's Oscars.
You may proceed.
And who may get snuffed or snubbed? Who knows?
You're just never gonna let me live that down, are you?
Never.
It. Nice.
I love
nice to
when
know
you're
that
wrong.
this is a
It's the
safe
best feeling
space
ever.
where if I accidentally flub something, that
I'm not sure anybody ever said this was a safe space.
Yeah. When
right.
you said to me, "Let's start a podcast," I never said, "Well, let's make this a safe space."
And I
for
think
you,
the bigger mistake was, the two of you going, who's really good at not exploiting other people's mistakes? Burns. We'll get Burns over here and feel safe somehow.
And you know what, listener? We do it all for you. So let's talk about this. Do we want to do this in the order that we did, kind of predetermined?
In an order that will surprise you?
Yeah, do it in an order that would surprise
In an order that would surprise us? Then fine, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up.
So you're starting from the bottom so you can get somewhere?
Well, now we'll be there.
We're going to go there.
Start at the bottom, and then we'll be here.
Oh my God, do you know where we are? We're at now.
CJ, you start wherever your little heart desires. We will be right on board. We'll ride that train with you.
Side note, can it actually be a train?
Yeah, it can be whatever it could be a Zeppelin if you so desire.
Okay, so let's start with this. Let's start with best supporting actress.
Supporting actress.
Supporting actress. There's some interesting things. Brian, you have the list in front of you for supporting actress
I do indeed.
right now?
I have the list in front of me for all. Every list that you think of, I have that list.
Would you mind then? I'll pick the topic. You read the nominees.
Oh my God, it's like we work together.
It's just like we're doing the Oscars now. We're actually practicing. It's a dry run.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, for your nominees for the best supporting actress, you have Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara for Carol, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight. I am going to butcher this name. Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs.
Mm.
And the Oscar goes to.
So we full.
I don't have an envelope. I don't know what to do with my hands. What do I do with my hands right now?
The best part about this is an audio thing. You could totally have an envelope. No one would know. Full disclosure, honestly, we did not see every single movie.
Listener, I do not have an envelope, just so you know.
We did not see every movie that is on the list, and we didn't see everyone's performances. So a lot of this is also gut reactions and how we think, the people are going to sway. So just want to get that part out of the way. This is an interesting field because a lot of these people are normally, leading women in their roles and have gotten awards before in a variety of fashions. And this looks like a pretty tight race. Josh, who do you think is the front runner for this?
I would like to say Jennifer Jason Leigh because I know she won for I don't remember the movie Rush or something way back in the day. But I think that Rooney Mara is pretty sneaky. So
pretty sneaky, sis.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian? What are you thinking?
I want to lean towards Jennifer Jason Leigh because I saw The Hateful Eight and she was borderline terrifying in that movie, to be completely honest with you. So you know what? And Kate Winslet's got enough Oscars. Screw her. Whatever. She can polish her old ones. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jennifer Jason Leigh. I want to go that way.
That's what I'm going for too. From what I understand of The Hateful Eight and her performance, it really was something that was to be marveled at. And it looked kind of physical as well. So
plus, she took an elbow to the face from Kurt Russell.
That's what I'm saying. She literally put blood, sweat, and tears into her role.
Multiple elbows to the face. It was pretty hard.
Didn't she win? Didn't she win for Rush?
I can find out for you if you so
to Wikipedia.
I'm there. I just no, she didn't. I thought she did.
Well, maybe this is her time.
I spoke out of time.
Does she have an Oscar?
I don't know. But listen, if you haven't seen Rush, you should also see that movie.
Okay. All right. So you, Josh, you're going with Rooney and.
Yeah, Rooney Mara. She's sneaky. I like Rooney Mara for this one.
What do you mean she's sneaky?
She's sneaky.
She has not won an Academy Award, by the way.
Who won the Golden Globe for that? Does anyone know?
The Golden Globe for nominated for supporting actress?
For supporting actress, yeah. Could you get that list up too, Brian?
Yeah, I'm getting it up now.
I'm curious because sometimes the Golden Globes really are a barometer of who could possibly win this, and other times they're not. There will be a case in that we'll talk about it later. Where I don't.
Kate Winslet won.
She won for Steve Jobs.
Best supporting actress.
Wow. For
Steve Jobs.
Didn't like her performance in that movie, but okay.
You are not the end all to be all in the Actors Guild.
I didn't say less. All right, so let's talk about Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Brian, the nominees are
Best Actor in a Supporting Role: Christian Bale from The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies, and Sylvester Stallone for Creed.
Now, I know that Sylvester Stallone won the Golden Globe for this.
I really want him to win the Oscar for it too.
I do too. I don't think Christian Bale is going to get it. To me, it's between Sylvester Stallone and Mark Ruffalo. And I think Sly's going to get it. That's my vote for it.
I am right there with you, CJ. I'm going for Sly.
Josh, what about you?
I would like to see Sylvester Stallone win. I think that Tom Hardy's got an outside shot. So I'm going with Tom Hardy.
Always got to be
It would
different.
just be
Josh.
phenomenal if he came up and we had to listen to a Bane voice for just a minute as he thanks somebody.
I would like to thank the Academy. Well, they were merely adopted the Oscar, and I was born into it, molded by it.
Tom, we need you to.
I have no time.
Time to go mobile.
I refuse to leave the stage until I have thanked everyone on my list for all the citizens of Gotham. Thank you for this Oscar.
Tom Hardy,
For you, the people.
Tom Hardy he doesn't show up for some reason. He's incredibly sick, can't make it, and they play the video of him holding the list outside of the prison, reading that list, and it's just dubbed over with an acceptance speech. I think that's the way that should go.
I hope 2 Tom Hardys show up as twins.
Both doing Bane voices.
Both doing Bane voices.
I was so surprised by winning this Oscar, Tom. How about you? Yes, Tom, this is a great honor.
By the way, I love how you're covering your mouth.
You have
and
to. That's
trying
how
to
you
talk
do
to.
the
I
Bane
know,
voice.
and trying to talk to your microphone. Like it's just that's counterintuitive. for what you're
You
looking
gotta,
to do.
because
You gotta.
How else can you do the Bane
You gotta
voice?
have the
you know-
muffled voice. When doing
I'm
the
not
Bane
saying-
voice.
I'm not
Oh
saying.
yes, CJ. I was wondering when you would break.
sorry.
I'm not saying that it's you have to do it. You're absolutely right.
I'm going
I
to
do
do the
not
rest of the show in this voice.
No, please
The
don't.
Oscar nominees for Best Actor.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh man. I do not possess the technology to go ahead and do that.
Really, you with the accents and the Russians and the weird.
No,
voices?
I mean like digitally make the Bane voice happen. That would be
With
my.
the Hoyven and the Glavin?
All right, let's talk about some directing. Damn it.
Okay, we did. Okay, I got you. Directing. Okay. I'm sorry.
Is that okay?
I
thought it was an order that would surprise you. I'm trying to surprise
it
you.
is. It's definitely an order that surprised me.
Congratulations.
All right. I'm very glad. At least I got one. At least I got one thing right today.
And then the nominees for Best Directing are Adam McKay for The Big Short, George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, Alejandro
I want to hear this one.
G. Inarritu for The Revenant, Lenny Abrahamson for The Room, and Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. So I'm going to go to CJ. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win Best Director? Tom Hardy's not in here.
From everything that I've heard, again, not seeing everything, I'm actually pulling for Mad Max Fury Road. I think a director has to lead the ship and make a movie really stand out, and has to make a lot of executive choices. And the use of actually blowing things up and people's impressions saying this felt real and I've never felt this attached to a movie and the stunts were incredible. Organizing choreo, just getting that all together, that takes extreme talent. So George Miller should be honored for that. I think it's going to be a pretty tight race, but I'm going for him on Mad Max Fury Road.
George Miller directed the first Mad Max.
Directed every
right?
Mad Max.
Yes.
Directed every Mad Max. This was an absolute masterpiece. I think George.
I really, really want that to be true because I really, really enjoyed that movie too. I have the sneaking feeling that The Room is going to win every category it is nominated for. So I think Lenny Abrahamson might take this. Just my feeling.
Why? Why do you feel
Because
that's the
the
case?
Academy is stupid. No. That's why. That's exactly why.
Can you give me a little more than just the Academy is dumb? If you're the Academy and they're defending their stance the next day, what's the reason you give to people?
Listen.
Behind closed doors and at the meetings that they have, like what's the reason that they're saying The Room should win Best Director?
It is the skeptical part of me that says that the Academy is a sucker for these type of movies, these type of like really dark, depressing, like kind of films. And I feel like The Room hits all of those kind of beats.
I need to, there's a thing that I have to do now. Right. And it's this, The film The Room came out in 2003, and it's a crappy movie. Room
Thank you.
Room.
is what's nominated. Yeah.
Josh, we agreed this was a safe place for everybody but CJ.
I hear you, but if we keep saying The Room and referencing what I think was a crappy horror movie, somebody is going to call bullshit on us pretty quickly.
Room. I think it might be one of those ones that takes the top spots, because I know it's nominated for Best Picture and also Best Actress. We'll get to those in a second, but I got a feeling it screams Academy all over the place. Not just like, oh, this was such a great movie, but it screams like they just made it for the Academy and nobody else.
Okay. Josh, what about you?
Neither of you seem very convinced by my argument.
I'm on board with George Miller.
You're gonna go with George Miller? Okay. I'm not gonna fight you, Brian. I can understand what you're
really
talking about.
For once in your life, you're not gonna fight me.
I'm gonna give you the opportunity. Why not? Hey, Brian, you know how you just said we're gonna get to the best supporting? To the best lead actress.
The best lead. Oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Okay. What we're going to do is
You
best lead
son
actor.
Of a bitch.
Best actor.
I had a lead actress all queued up.
Again, in order that's going to surprise you.
You have surprised me, sir. Well done.
This is the one that I think I'm the most passionate about, so I'm very interested to hear your
Best
opinion on this.
actor. The nominees are Bryan Cranston for Trumbo, Matt Damon for The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. Go ahead, CJ.
I get that some of this is political. I really do. That you have to.
It's mostly
I don't know if you. I don't know. No, it's all political.
Yeah.
You have to take ads out. You do fundraising. You do backroom meetings. You shake a lot of hands. And you basically campaign like you're going to be the president when you're nominated for these things. And I understand that Michael Fassbender is Michael Fassbender, and that he's a great actor, and that he did his darn best in Steve Jobs. I don't want him to win.
Didn't he?
I don't want him to win.
No, Leonardo DiCaprio won a Golden Globe. Good for you, Leo.
Yes, Leo. Okay, so this is the other part. This is a thing where the Golden Globes, unfortunately, aren't going to mean anything.
Are you?
I don't. No, this comes between Bryan Cranston and Eddie Redmayne. This is what this comes between. It's those two.
Really? I think
Matt Damon
Matt Damon
is not going to get this. Leo's not going to get this because of his history, and Michael Fassbender isn't going to get it because Steve Jobs wasn't a success the way that they thought it would be.
Do you think that the Academy just does not let Leo win because they love all the memes online?
Yes, I believe that they get a percentage of his the face that he makes when he loses every year, and they cut to him. The Academy's like, that is $3.50. Thank you, Reddit.
Did you make a prediction in there somewhere?
I'm going to go with Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
And the reason I'll justify that is this movie shows up nowhere else. Absolutely. It's just like Whiplash last year, right? For Best Supporting Actor. It didn't show up in any of the other categories where it should have. I seriously believe this should have been Best Picture last year. Oh, God. J. Jonah Jameson, whose name is escaping me, please, somebody.
J.K. Simmons.
Thank you, J.K. Simmons, got Best Supporting Actor. So Bryan Cranston, I think, is going to take this one. That's mine.
All right. I honestly, I see your point, and I do think Bryan Cranston's definitely got a shot at this, but I really want Leo to win. I just do. I think he's due. I think he's put in his time. I think he needs this Oscar.
And that's the question I have when it comes to every year when this comes up and Leonardo DiCaprio either gets it or doesn't get it. Everyone brings up the past performances, but are we just trying to give him it because he deserves it or because he actually did a great job in The Revenant and he deserves the Oscar?
That's where your whole argument about this is mostly political. It's a political thing. I mean, I don't think the Academy really looks at some performances sometimes and it's a lot of political bullshit for lack of better terminology. I believe that after being nominated 1,000 different times, I mean, every movie this man has done for the past 10 years, he's been nominated for almost every movie. They've got to give it to him. It's at this point, it's getting kind of ridiculous that he hasn't won it already.
Josh, yeah, you don't seem like you agree with that.
I mean, I think that the limited release of The Revenant was a sneaky trick. I think it's not something that the people who vote necessarily like to see. Regardless, Matt Damon wins.
Oh, yeah?
See, that's A, surprising because Josh said Matt Damon, and B,
Oh, I love Matt Damon.
I haven't seen The Martian yet, but that guy's holding the movie all by himself.
He's not, though. He's really not.
No, but I think what you end up with is if you're absolutely torn, right? If you can't make a decision as to who you think's going to win, then you have to put the preachiest guy up there, and that's Matt Damon. So he goes up there and he makes a speech that's very preachy, and then he gets played off the stage, but he's won. And he's awesome, and everybody loves Matt
But how
Damon.
is he going to accept his reward if Tom Hardy's still up there giving a speech about saving Gotham?
You have to fulfill the preachy quota, and I think this does it.
But Tom Hardy will preach about
where's Sean Penn when you
saving
need him,
Gotham.
right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if Tim Robbins were nominated, I'd say Tim Robbins, but he's not. So Matt Damon.
This is one of those categories where I'm looking at the list and I'm like, there's a lot of variables, and every single one of these people probably deserve it, but only one can win.
That's why I say when there's variables, you have to go with, like, look, if Bono were up there, I would say Bono, because he would inflict his preachiness upon all of us. But he's not.
If I'm looking at, and again, this comes into the fact where we haven't seen some of the movies, so sorry. I'm looking at the Danish Girl's theme art here for him, and it looks like we're talking about an issue that could be very preachy. It looks like he's cross-dressing. It looks like he's playing a woman.
Yeah, but Eddie Redmayne isn't going to get up there and be preachy.
He was preachy last year when he won. He made a whole speech about playing Stephen Hawking and how
the Hawking thing.
Right?
Yeah, no, I get it. No,
I mean, he made a damn good speech. It was very moving. A lot of people cried. The internet loved it. I mean, he'll do it, and he's a great actor.
I don't buy it. Matt Damon.
So we got Matt Damon, Leo, and Bryan Cranston. That's who. Okay, that sounds like we need listeners to come in and give us some feedback as to who's going to go.
The listeners will just go and say Michael Fassbender and screw us all up.
That's fine. And listen, if that's what they want, that's fine. And I can.
And listener, if you say
that.
Michael Fassbender, the reason should be because CJ did not like the movie. That's why it should win.
Okay, Brian, you can finally do your leading actress.
Ooh, sweet. All right, leading actress. Kate Blanchett for Carol, Brie Larson for Room.
Thank you.
Jennifer Lawrence for Joy, Charlotte Rampling in 45 Years, and another name I'm going to butcher, Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn. That's like Game of Thrones name. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, what was the actress for?
Saoirse?
I don't think
I'm Sorcy? I don't know. Please,
Cersei?
someone,
Cersei
Lannister?
Cersei Lannister? No, someone tell me how to pronounce this. Saoirse. I'm going with Sarah.
Travolta it and just be done with it.
Travolta it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know.
No, God damn it. Do you not remember last year when he's introducing? Or
I do remember it, and I already Travolted it 3 times. So
okay.
what are our predictions? Josh, what do you think?
It's a tough one. I think probably Jennifer Lawrence, but Kate Blanchett's always phenomenal. I don't know.
I'm going to go with Brie Larson.
I'm going to go Brie Larson too.
Knowing what I know about The Room.
It's
not
just
The Room.
Knowing what I know about Room. This is going to be terrible. This is a drinking game every time we say it now. Just don't drink and drive. Knowing what I know about Room, that's a tough act. It was a pretty strong and powerful performance. People did not leave the movie theater just going on with their life. The movie affected them, and she's at the center of it. And it's a really small, intimate cast, and it's easy to stand out in that kind of situation. Hence why it's getting the press that it's getting, and I think that she's supposed to do it. I don't think Jennifer Lawrence is going to get it only because she got last year for American Hustle, and if they just, again, keep giving Oscars to that group of people, it's not going to work.
What do you mean that
What
group
if she's
of people?
always phenomenal?
Who? Jennifer Lawrence?
She is always phenomenal.
Yeah, she is.
Meryl Streep has a bajillion Oscars.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Brie Larson, I think she is. It's easier to stand out in a smaller cast with a performance and a subject matter that room has. That is easy to have an outstanding performance. I think that's what people are going to look for. I think that's how that works.
I'm with you. I think Room. I think at least her, and I know she won the Golden Globe for it.
Who was the actress in 45 Years? I'm sorry. I don't have, my list is freezing.
Screw you. That's the actress in 45
Anyway,
Years.
I've seen her in Broadchurch, and she was great. So that's my runner-up. If I'm wrong on Brie Larson, it's going to go to her.
Okay. I think Brie Larson's going to take this just again because of the subject matter of that movie. I think that the Academy is going to eat it all up like yummy, yummy froyo that I just ate.
But you think there's no merit to it? It's just the subject matter. You just think that's
listen.
Room is up against. You're just like
CJ,
Room's gonna
I'm going to level with you. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I probably will. It's going to be one of those movies that I'm going to hate everything and then try to play in traffic. But I'm sure it's going to be wonderfully directed, wonderfully acted, and I'm sure if she wins, I'm sure she'll deserve it. But I also think that there's other people on here who may deserve it just as much as hers, and when in doubt, the Academy goes with those type of movies. That's all I have to say about that.
Josh, did you actually pick somebody?
Yes, he picked Jennifer Lawrence. Do you not listen?
He seemed very shaky, and I didn't know if he.
Not shaky.
Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, I questioned you, Almighty Leader.
Not shaky.
Never shaky.
So let's talk about the big stuff. Let's talk about the big award of the night that they spend the entire show talking about.
You mean best sound editing?
No, the editing important.
Does not go to you.
When you have you need
I'm sorry. You're talking about makeup. I got it.
That's right. Thank you. I want to talk about Best Picture.
Well, that's a stupid category. Okay.
It's a very small, insignificant one. And am I crazy? Do we get more every year, or have we just settled on?
There's like 8. Why are there 8?
There's usually I don't know.
This started a few years ago that there are now 8 to 10. I remember one year it was just every movie that practically came out. I was like, did someone buy popcorn when they saw this movie? Oh, well, it needs Best Picture. I mean, it needs to be considered. So we've got 8?
Yeah, we have 8. Best Picture nominees are The Big Short, Bridge o' Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. I am floored that Mad Max even got nominated, to be honest.
Yeah, I am too, and it's not going to win.
No, it won't, but it's pretty awesome that it got nominated. Not going to
lie. I'm really excited to see it get nominated, but it'll never win, and that's travesty.
You already know what I think. I think The Room is going to take all 3 of those categories it's nominated for. I really do.
But you got Thomas Hanks here on Bridge of Spies.
I know. I know.
Hanks is,
and T. Hanks is usually always wonderful in everything.
He's also extremely well connected to the Academy of Motion Picture Society. I mean, I think maybe president, co-president, very, very high up.
What, you think he's greasing palms or something? You think him and Steven Spielberg are outside the hall?
I think it's pretty easy for him to go into a room and say, hi, did you notice he's not nominated for anything else, but his movie is? His movie's on there, but I don't see Tom Hanks in Best Actor.
Touche.
I think you have to give something to Hanks by the end of the night. Otherwise, you're not going home with your swag bag.
if Tom Hanks doesn't win, you don't get a swag bag.
By the way, I would like to set the record straight for all those people out there. Swag originally stood for stuff we all get, and not this other Urban Dictionary definition. It's stuff we all get, okay? Just let's settle for that. This is one that I'm really torn apart. I keep thinking about what movies are really popular, what really works. I know The Big Short really...
You can't go by popularity. The Academy does not give a shit about popularity.
No. I know that The Big Short really stirred a lot of pots, pissed a lot of people off, got a lot of people talking. I know the same thing about Spotlight. That subject matter is freaking crazy. It's provocative. It's a little uncomfortable to talk about, which is what makes people think that they're smart, cool, and edgy. To go ahead and bring the same thing with Room. Revenant's on here again. I just think because they have to taunt Leo that he'll lose, but this may win. And then, I was a good actor at it. How come I didn't get the award? Blah, blah, blah. And then The Martian's in there because Matt Damon. I'm discounting The
I'm
Martian.
sorry,
I don't
did you
think it's
pick a
gonna
movie?
win.
I'm really confused.
I don't. I didn't pick a movie. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'm going to make my
I already
impulse
told you
decision
what I
and change
think.
my mind.
I think Room.
I know. I'm talking out loud now. What about you, Josh? What do you think
Do
is,
you talk
is going up? For you?
not out loud at points?
The Martian.
No reasoning behind that. Just Matt
Yeah,
Damon.
can I get a...
I don't know. I won Best Comedy as a Golden Globe, so there you go.
Who won Best Picture on the Golden Globes?
Well, the Golden
Revenant.
Globes are set up different. You have best drama,
Oh, right, it
best
has
comedy,
comedy, yeah.
best blah blah
Right,
blah.
okay.
So the Revenant won drama, Martian won comedy.
That's right. I forgot The Martian was in comedy for the Golden Globes. I'm gonna go sleeper and go with Big Short.
I'll be really impressed if Big Short wins.
I'm gonna think it's the I don't know who to vote for vote, and there's a lot of people that are in that movie, and it's a pretty big deal, and it had a subject matter that is scary but not too scary. It's not very dark like Room or Mad Max. It's something in between. It's makes you feel smart. I'm gonna go with Big Short. That's how I think Hollywood people vote.
You are totally wrong, but okay.
That's fine, and I'm okay with being wrong for this.
Oh, just
Notice
for this.
I said for this.
Just for this.
I just what I said. Notice I said
Everything
for
else
this.
you're wrong about, we have to hear about forever. But just
Yeah,
this, you're okay
absolutely.
with being wrong. I got it.
You know what I do love? The one thing that we don't have to spend a whole lot of time deliberating on and asking, is this worth it? It's best animated feature film, and that goes to Inside Out.
Most definitely.
I mean, just there's no contest, and I feel
If I
real
could put
bad if
Inside
anyone
Out
else
in
is
Best Picture category, I think it would win that.
I don't think it would.
No. Come on. CJ, come on.
Where's The Hateful Eight? What did that get nominated for?
Besides Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah.
Not a ton. Cinematography.
Well, that's a good award for that, actually.
It probably will win cinematography. I
Yeah.
think it might have won music or score or whatever.
Score.
Is there anything that wasn't on the list that you were surprised? Was there a movie that you surely thought would be nominated for Best Picture or someone to be up for Best Actor or Actress, and it's not there at all?
I'm never surprised by anything the Academy does anymore. I went through this whole phase at Blockbuster where I was like, I'm going to watch every Oscar-nominated movie, and then I realized I hate almost everything that's nominated for an Oscar half the time. So
The Force Awakens, by the way, only has like
3 nominations.
two, three or four,
Like-
and it's all technical stuff: sound editing,
Well, yeah,
score.
what else is it going to get
It's not.
nominated?
You're never going to see it in the big categories. Come on.
No. I'm surprised it's actually not in some of the other. Like, okay, so here's if I may deviate off of this.
Sound mixing, sound editing, visual effects.
I was just about to say visual effects. That's a pretty cool category. I think it's
Not really.
You don't think that's a nerdy category at all?
I mean,
You don't care.
You
You
said-
just don't care.
you said
just don't
cool.
care. That's fine. I get it. It's fine. Ex Machina's on here a couple times, so suck that.
Yes, I'm sure all the hipsters are rejoicing, CJ.
Dude, go watch that movie. Just go watch it.
Most likely will, and then
I'm
tell you
telling
I
you,
hated
just-
it. Even though I may
and that's
secretly
fine.
like it.
At least watch it, and then you can tell me you hated it, and then I'll feel like I can
Oh,
take your.
so I do. I mean, Ex Machina is up there for original screenplay. I hope to God
Probably wins.
that Straight Outta Compton wins.
Wouldn't is that original screenplay?
Because Straight Outta Compton's an original screenplay.
Okay.
It wasn't adapted from anything. It wasn't a book. They just made it right into a movie.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know what original meant. Thank you, CJ, for letting me know. I was very confused by the word original.
You know, there's other people that listen to this, and maybe they need clarification.
Oh, so now our listeners don't know what original means. Listener, I think you're much smarter than CJ.
when it
gives you
comes to an
credit for.
original screenplay, some people just made the terms are weird. Okay, like shoot me for trying to help.
The term original means the same in everything. Always. Forever.
Well, never mind. I'm not gonna.
The screenplay's the thing you make when you use a flashlight and your fingers. right?
Yes, it is. That's why Inside Out's on there too, because that's how they did it before they animate it.
I
They
was
tell
just
the story.
checking. I wasn't
No,
sure what screenplay meant.
You're absolutely right. I appreciate you for double checking. And
When
and
they say
being,
visual, that's what I like with my ears, right? That's what you do with your ears.
yes,
Okay.
It's also what the tongue's for.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm so glad we're clearing this up. I'm my world is entirely opened up.
And guys, I know we'll talk offline about your favorite foreign language film. Because I know we don't have time to really fill that up. It's I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that.
I mean, I was completely gaga for Mustang because I know nothing about it.
Oh my God, me too. Mainly because I like horses.
Yes.
Anyway, so listen, guys, there's obviously a lot more topics and stuff out there, but those are the top ones that we think you would care about. And I know we're kind of doing gut reactions. We thought about this a little bit and maybe pondered something back and forth. And, we got some idealistic things in our head and we think what reality is going to be. So again, this is the opportunity for you guys to chime in, break some ties, give us some thoughts when it comes to Best Actor. And see what you think could possibly go up there. So again, a few ways to do that. Go ahead and get us at Twitter at That Kind of Nerd. Go to the website and put a comment below, or just give us a call and tell us if you think we're completely off base with something. Just call 484-373-4119. My goal is to say it 3 times this episode, so that's 2. We'll be good to go.
The Academy Awards airs on February 28th. And is hosted by Chris.
So there is plenty of time, listener, for you to write the Academy, ask them to let Tom Hardy win only if he accepts the award in Bane voice.
Do you get that message to him? Like, is he not going to be surprised after that happens? Like, how do you how do you enforce that rule?
When he wins, you have that guy, that initial guy who shakes your hand,
right.
Like, hey, the only reason you won is because you have to do the Bane voice.
It's usually, they've rotated this, but they sometimes do it as the Best Actress from last year. Or Best Supporting? He's up for Supporting.
He's up for Supporting.
Best Supporting Actress.
Right.
They usually do the opposite gender.
My point is, whoever is passing him the statue needs to be like, you got to accept this.
And what if he doesn't do it? Do you take it away from him?
Yes, on stage.
Tom Hanks just comes out and says, "No,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
We had a deal.
Sorry.
You didn't do it."
Can we get Sylvester Stallone up here, please? You're unintelligible when you speak, so it's just the same as Bane. Go ahead. Is that what you're?
I'm not going to try and do a Sly impersonation. So
you were going to. I really I want to hear it now. No. The listener wants to hear it now too.
What are you talking about? I just won an Oscar.
Here's what you should do. Are you ready? This is very easy, super easy for you. Get your vape and talk when the smoke's coming out of your mouth, and you'll sound just like him.
Go
ahead, do it. I want to hear this.
I like to thank the Academy. I don't see how that works. And now my
see the last part there? I don't see how it works. That sounds like Sly.
Oh, yeah?
It's the last part.
Anyway.
It's not the whole thing. Great. So please, again, take the opportunity to reach out to us. Tell us what you think. I know some of you disagree with us out there. And again, since we didn't see everything, it's the perfect time to start yelling at us. If there was a movie that you can't believe that we haven't seen, or something that you think should have been on this list, we want to hear that too. If you could do your own Oscar nominations, who would you put on the list? Tell us about it.
And listen, CJ loves being yelled at. It's how he gets through the day.
It's true.
That's why I'm here. I'm always there to yell at him. You're welcome, CJ.
Especially when, by the way, he yells at me when we're not recording as well. So it isn't just like something that he turns on when everything's rolling. It's all
I wake up at 4:00 in the morning, like, I need to yell at CJ. And then I yell at CJ.
I usually wake up to a terrible voice.
Take notes on your phone about random thoughts you had.
When
to
he
yell at
like
CJ.
a stand-up comedian with a notepad next to his desk.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do this.
That's how I live my
CJ
life.
gets yelled at for the first 15 minutes of every day. He's like, what the hell?
You're welcome, CJ. I took that bullet for you.
I appreciate it. Before we move on, I do want to throw something in here. I just started watching Seinfeld.
Yes.
I've decided that I was going to go ahead and do this. And Josh, I had a question.
Wait, you've never watched Seinfeld?
I've never watched Seinfeld. Think when Seinfeld came out.
When he was 2.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, I've really never been.
Yeah, no, I guess,
And, you have no excuse because I was born in 86. So I was only like 3 or 4.
You watched it with your uncle, though.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
I used to watch it with my family and sometimes my grandfather.
Yeah, I did not. No one in my family watched Seinfeld, so I didn't get exposed to it at all. It was on Hulu. My daughter.
Just more.
You're just
more
MK
reasons why your life was.
What are you talking about? MK Ultra status? Like, how is that?
Because
fair?
there are things in that show that have just gone on forever. People say these things, and they don't even realize they're saying it for Seinfeld.
Listen, you could have just said, not that there's anything wrong with
exactly that,
and let it go, but you won't.
And listen, and I could go on and on about how Seinfeld changed pop culture and life yada yada yada. But
whoa! You can't just yada yada yada.
Exactly. That's the point.
Listen, I've gotten the big references, right? The pest dispenser. I don't want to be a pirate. Things like that.
I don't want to be a pirate. I don't want to be a pirate.
The things that, and by the way,
listen.
Hulu throws that line away really quickly because that's where it's on. I was gonna watch Steven Universe with my daughter. She grabbed the Xbox controller
and put on Seinfeld instead because she is smarter than you.
Couldn't find the remote anymore and ended up watching Seinfeld, and it's been great.
Listen, all I have to say is that these pretzels are making me thirsty.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Damn it. No, you're not allowed to say it because you don't know.
Yes, I did. I watched that episode. I am on season 5 already.
Yeah, this happened like a week ago. He's like, he came to me at work. He's like, I'm already on season 5 of Seinfeld.
George is getting frustrated.
I wanted to issue a challenge to the fans for me, and I promised not to yell, cuss concern, or, I don't know, put you down. For me to watch a show, movie, or something that you think I haven't seen, or something I should do, I'd like to keep it kind of reasonable. It's if you could give me maybe just a few episodes of something to watch, or hey, watch the first 6 episodes of this, see if I fall into the binge hole for it. I need something to go through. Shows are starting to come back, but when I'm not playing Fallout, I need to watch something on TV. Throw something my direction. I'll see if I can put it in my binge catalog.
You hear that, Josh? We need to get to the bar and just assemble a list of all the crap that CJ needs to watch.
I'm saying fans though, so I'm not asking you guys.
I'm fan.
Asking you, listener.
I'm a fan of telling you what to do.
You get.
So I think I earned the right to tell you what to watch.
That's very true. But we shall see for that. So anyway, I'm just saying, throw it out there. See what sticks.
Not saying, just saying.
Just saying.
All right. So I the thing that I wasn't expecting to talk about because, it sort of crept up on us pretty suddenly, and that I felt like we absolutely had to address on the show, was the passing of Alan Rickman, just a couple days ago. Obviously, we're recording on Friday the 15th. This was yesterday?
Yes.
The 14th?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, this came across, the news feed in the morning, and I was devastated. Like, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know sort of what ties, if any, you had to Alan Rickman, but for me, he was one of my favorite and my favorite villains to watch on screen, even though he didn't traditionally play villains.
Mm-hmm.
I figured like the die-hard Hans Gruber, and then followed very closely by just the most evil sheriff of Nottingham you've ever seen. But then he did all these things that endeared you to him. The voice of Marvin on The Hitchhiker's Guide is one of those for me that I can't escape. And then obviously there was no... I shared this on social media yesterday. There's been no story arc, no character story arc that hit me harder than Snape, Professor Snape's did in Harry Potter. And it's because you read all these books and you've invested all this time and all this story, and you get to the very end. You get to the very end only to be shown that this whole time you were wrong, right? You've been hating the wrong guy. And, if you haven't seen Harry Potter, I don't care, spoiler alert or not.
The statute of limitations is up on that.
It's like...
brought this on yourself.
Well past the statute.
But it's those... So, when Harry realizes the depth of Snape's commitment, I well up, I get teary. We talked about this with Star Wars. I shed a tear, absolutely. I'm reading the book. I was in my car on a lunch break. I worked for a company. We had hour-long lunch breaks. I had nothing better to do. So every day for an hour, I went to my car and I read Harry Potter books, and I completed the series, and I'm getting to the end of this book, and I'm reading this part where Harry is discovering the depth of Snape's commitment, and I'm a grown man in a vehicle crying. And that doesn't really happen to me. So this was just beautifully played, perfectly played by Alan Rickman. And there are a couple things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to ask you guys sort of your favorite Alan Rickman role, and then maybe your favorite little known or non-mainstream role or movie that he was in. And obviously my favorite role of Alan Rickman's, by far was that of Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series. But my favorite performance of his in a non-mainstream, something people don't talk about regularly. I have two. I'm cheating. He played Steven Spurrier in the movie Bottle Shock, which was about the 1976 blind tasting of wine in Paris, where the Napa Valley vineyards really rose to power. And the other one is he played Metatron, the voice of God, in Dogma. And I don't think Dogma is Dogma without Alan Rickman.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my little emotional piece for the week.
Go ahead, CJ.
Go ahead.
No. After you. No, you started talking. Anyway, I was going to say first. No, go ahead.
I first really discovered Alan Rickman in the sense of not only his ability to play this straight man, but then also his comedic prowess in Galaxy Quest.
God damn it! Stop taking my shit.
Listen, and it was so funny. I didn't know who he was. I didn't see Die Hard until a little after that. Is when I started looking around to see what else he's in. Sweeney Todd, I really did like his performance as well. And he makes such an impression when he's on screen. It's very noticeable. You gravitate towards him. So it's always made that impression. For me, the lesser known stuff, the stuff that really doesn't matter, goes back to some of the theater roots. He did Noel Coward's Private Lives on the West End, and they brought it back to Broadway for a revival, which I believe he won a Tony for. And it's just real cool to see the span and the caliber of this guy's acting, because when most people think of him, you just think Severus Snape, which is that monotone way of speaking, but he has such a personality to him that there's more to it, and he really understands the characters that he's playing, and it's always impressive. And something that I read that really struck me too was Daniel Radcliffe wrote an amazing post online, and one of the things that I took away, which people will always say, and this is true in life, so it's not to anyone in Hollywood or anything. People always say, "Hey, whenever call me if you're doing something. Let's connect. Let's see what's going on." But apparently, Alan, if you were doing anything anywhere in the world, and you said, "Hey, would you come and see this?" or "Hey, I would love to talk to you," next day he's calling you, or he's on a plane. He's seeing your projects, and that's just a good person in general. And I can think of my own time in my own life when I've fallen short on those kind of obligations, and it's a great sentiment to see that someone who's so busy, who's so well known and so well liked, can still make time to do that. It's commendable.
You all took my stuff. Everything I was about to say, you all just said it. Goddamn, both of you. No, I mean, my first exposure to Alan Rickman was Die Hard, Hans Gruber. And it wasn't the fact that he was a villain. He played the Han so well that like you kind of liked him. At points, you kind of wanted him to get away with it.
He was comedic, right?
He towed that line between terrifying and comedic all throughout that movie. And most people are like, "Oh, look at the wonderful acting in a Die Hard movie." He was
far scarier.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
He was amazing in Robin Hood. And my gut reaction, CJ, again, was Galaxy Quest. Just watching him at that con, just so disdainfully go, "By Grabthar's hammer," and you're just like, he's so good and so enjoyable to watch. Dogma was another one I was going to say, Josh, which I didn't see until well after it was already out on DVD or something.
Yeah, same thing.
Just him being so enjoyable and funny.
He was hilarious. drinking the tequila, spitting it back in the glass over and over and over.
I think he is a fantastic actor, and again, a lot of these people coming out saying, just a great person he was, and Daniel Radcliffe, again said it best in an extremely long post on Google Plus of all things. Apparently, Daniel Radcliffe uses Google Plus.
That's the biggest takeaway I had from that as well.
Those were my two takeaways. That Alan Rickman seemed like an amazing person, and why are you using Google Plus, Daniel Radcliffe? That was my takeaway.
So did either of you read Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
What's reading? Is there a picture of Batman in it?
I read all the books, all of the Hitchhiker's Guide books, and you're introduced to Marvin early. You've seen the movie though.
Yes,
right?
I have.
So I didn't read these books until I was, maybe 16 or 17. And I'm 16, so 1996, and I'm introduced to Marvin in the book, and I'm reading Marvin as Alan Rickman. I swear to God. Because I couldn't think of anybody else in my brain, like in my Rolodex of voices in my brain, who can do monotone and depressed like that. Really, I couldn't voice him any other way. Right. And then when the movie came out and it was Alan Rickman, every time he was on screen, I'm losing my shit because he nailed it. It was perfect. It was hilarious and it just is so much despair in the robot's voice.
There's a meme floating around of a picture of him and just going, everyone's talking about Severus Snape, but I guess that doesn't really matter.
My brother-in-law sent me the Alan Rickman voicemail from Family Guy.
You have reached the voicemail of Alan Rickman. Please leave a message.
Alan Rickman, this is Alan Rickman.
Remember the turtle joke.
Don't forget to let out the cat.
Yes.
And obviously,
which what I found out after reading was that Alan Rickman's cat to male ratio was also quite
I thought
low,
we were going to go one episode without it.
Nope.
No.
It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy hearing it every single time, Brian.
God bless you, Alan Rickman. Rest in peace.
I saw a tweet or something. Obviously, the internet's all over this, posting all sorts of stuff. I saw something that says Alan Rickman's not dead. He's on a beach earning 5% somewhere. And I was like, that's awesome.
I shared something on Facebook on my personal account that someone, and it was picked up by something stupid like BuzzFeed or one of these, but somebody put all of Snape's important scenes in chronological order. Yes. I shared it. I need to get on our account and share it from there. But
I'll put it in the show notes so people can find it.
Please do. It's 14 minutes long, so it's not going to take up a lot of your time, but having never seen the scenes in chronological order and then watching them, you're just like, oh, you know what? I wasn't planning on crying right now, but I guess I'll just go ahead and do it. I seriously can't. I can't. Something about the way he played that character, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
And what was great about it too, obviously, Severus Snape is probably what he's going to be most remembered for, besides the Die Hard, is that J.K. Rowling told him the character arc of Severus Snape and not everybody else. Didn't tell Christopher Columbus, none of the directors where he was going, so they would come up to him sometime and be like, "Hey, could you play it this way? Could you try it this way instead?" And he goes, "I will not. I can't, because I know more than you do right now, and it's not going to make sense."
There are things since this happened, and people, when the internet explodes like this, and people start to dissect the role and the little things that were in each of the movies that you never spotted because you weren't looking for them, that you start to see. And for all the listeners, if you're a fan, just sort of follow, just go down the rabbit hole and click some of the links and read some of the stuff that's been written over the past few weeks about the character and everything that went into this role, and it's just unbelievable.
And it was incredible because J.K. Rowling was still writing some of the books, and she was still finishing the storyline, and she trusted Alan Rickman implicitly just to give him that information, give him one of the biggest surprises in that series. Day one of starting that process, day one of having him on board.
It's one of those things where, it was sudden, and you don't expect to hear of a loss like that. You see him as ageless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's playing all these, different characters, different ages. And, I hope the Academy does a spectacular tribute, February 28th when it comes time. And it's one of those things where I'll say, honestly, I'll regret not seeing more of him.
Yeah.
And, I can tell you that my kids know, they know Snape, they know who he is, and I hope to introduce them to more of his roles as they grow older. But so just as a final note, seriously, what a phenomenal actor, and by all accounts, a phenomenal person, and Godspeed.
All right. So don't mean to end on a sad note for you guys, but it's definitely.
Do you need me to
something
ruin the solemn moment? I'll make a joke.
No.
I'm okay with that. I can't get too serious for too long. You know this.
No, it's okay. There's a lot of stories, a lot of things out there that we want to hear from you guys, and I really want to thank you so much for listening to this show. As I said last week, thanks so much for making 2015 a great year, and we're very excited to see what 2016 comes for down the pipe and see what we have. So please share your thoughts about today's episode. Give us your thoughts about what's going down for the Oscars. Share your favorite Alan Rickman story or a role that really impacted you, something that you want to share, and we want to be part of that. And if you need a space to let something out, yes, you listener actually have a safe place. I don't get one, Josh doesn't get one, and Brian doesn't get one, but you do. So share that with us. Just, again, third time, call 484-373-4119. Go ahead and get us on Twitter at That Kind of Nerd, Facebook, facebook.com/That Kind of Nerd, and guess what? ThatKindOfNerd.com. I mean, if you can't find us, you're obviously not looking hard enough.
And if you want to just yell at CJ, please call that number.
At Twitter, at CJ Miller.
If you have anything that I should yell at him about, whether it be recorded or not, please let me know. I will be more than happy to do that for you.
We've got some exciting stuff coming down the pipe. Stay tuned for next week. Thank you so much for making us your walk around the neighborhood or your drive to work. And remember to check out thatkindofnerd.com. Thanks so much for listening. Nice to know that this is a safe space where if I accidentally flub something that...
I'm not sure anybody ever said this was a safe space.
I was so surprised by winning this Oscar, Tom. How about you? Yes! Tom, this is a great honor. I'm going to do the rest of the show in this voice.
I don't want to be a pirate.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.